Over 100,000 members from various religious and civil rights groups in Nigeria marched in Lagos State Saturday to show their solidarity with the people of Palestine. The large rally called for cessation of Israel's bombardment of Gaza following the October 7th surprise terrorist attack by Hamas on Israel. The demonstrations brought together diverse interests seeking to raise awareness of and call for peace in the ongoing conflict. The Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria has condemned the continuous bombardment of Gaza by Israeli forces, describing it as wicked and insensitive. The council, while speaking to newsmen in Abuja, says it is worried about the non-adherence to international laws and described the role being played by the United States of America and the United Nations as hypocritical. The council also urged the United Nations to compel Israel to return back to its 1967 borders with Palestine and its neighboring Arabian states in an effort to end the ongoing conflict. And of course, joining me on the news right now to, of course, discuss this is Ogobe Fidelis, is a lawyer and peace and conflict analyst. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, good evening, and thank you for having me.
All right, good evening. Let's get straight to it. Now, the Israeli-Hamas, conflict that we see seems to be escalating, particularly on a daily basis, with no clear end in sight. Now, what do you think are actually the hanging issues here?
Okay, thank you very much. The issue between Israel and Palestine is a long-age conflict of who has spanned about 73 years now. It happened to be one of the most difficult stories of our generation. The current situation of the conflict cannot be properly examined and understood without having a historical perspective to the issue. But the hanging issue currently has to do with the issue of the land politics, issue of water politics, and the slightly issue of religion. The Israel has claimed that they have the right to exist as well as the people of Palestine. But in 1947, the United Nations, when under the administration of the League of Nations, proposed a two-state solution between Israel and Palestine, where Israel took the advantage in 1948 and declared an independent state of Israel, and have continued in that basis to expand their original landmass, giving to them as prior to 1948 before the independence. When Arab nations that surround Israel attacked Israel in 1948, and in that six-day war, when Israel actually won, came out victorious, they expanded the extent of their land from 55% originally given to them to over 78%, and they have continued to expand the date. The another issue in that region has to do with the issue of the status of Jerusalem. Jerusalem was, recognized as an international site, which houses the Islamic religion, the issue of Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. And Israel has continued to lay claim to that region, as well as trying to move their capital from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. So,
all right, just to cut in there, I mean, of course, talking about regions right now, many have actually called for a two-state solution as an approach to end this particular conflict. Does that in any way hold water? And what other options are there on the table?
I may quote the former Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon when he said that a peace of no choice must be approached with the same determination in approaching a war of no choice. The two-state solution proposed by the United Nations in November 1947 to a very large extent has continued to exist till today. But looking at what has existed between now, since the two-state solution was proposed and what is happening now, it seems as if it is difficult for us to actually realize the status of that two-state solution. Israel has agreed that yes, they want to actually be an independent state, but the militant group arm of Palestine Liberation Organization, the Hamas, have refused to accept that Israel actually has the right to exist as a one-state solution. In this instance, what I'm proposing that there's a need for us to strike a balance between the concept of peace and justice. Because for us to have a peace in international community today, there is a need for us to redefine and adjust our concept of justice. Pakistan has continued to say that this region belongs to them historically, but the United Nations have actually divided this region between these two persons. So,
all right,
in this season, if we can revise to status quo, so that maybe the two-state solution will begin to adjust to ensure peace between these two neighbors who have been together based on historical basis.
All right, Fidelis, I mean, quickly, if you can just, respond to this in 30 seconds. What are, we're also seeing solidarity supports and movements across groups and countries all over the world. Now, some have begun to give it some sort of religious and racial, coloration. Now, what's the implication of this particular trend? And what can be done also to ensure that this does not escalate into the negative?
My advice is that we have to look at the conflict from a different perspective, which is political to the best of my knowledge. The issue in that region is not issue of religion. It has to do with the issue of water and land politics, as well as the right of every of the parties in that region to exist. Because if you take land away and water from the land of an individual, such a race or individual or a community or a nation begin to face existential threats. So therefore, the issue of religion is to a very large extent minimal, because in the issue of international politics today, what drives the actions and inactions of nation states has to do with the issue of their national interest. And national interest is nothing but the selfishness of nations. So every other nation who are taking side either for Palestine or for Israel, they have their own national interest which they want advanced. So for someone to begin to hinge the support in respect of religion in the present country is actually a misplaced one. Because when Hamas drops a rocket in the land of Israel, the rocket will not ask you whether you are a Muslim or a Jew or a Christian before the rocket will detonate. So we begin to approach it from the issue of humanity. Did Israel actually have the right to exist? Did Palestine have the right to exist by the concept of humanity? It is my position that yes, let's have a humanity perspective to the whole issue, so that the problem can easily be resolved. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Fidelis.
Thank you, sir.